How about now? I know. I'm excited that the numbers go up that quickly. Guess that means this is going reasonably well. All right, I think we should be good.
Yeah, you sound perfect.
Yay! Sound perfect. Wonderful. All right. Well, good. We then we can get started. I'm Maria Castley. I'm the chief archivist and tours manager at City Museum. This is my husband Max Castley.
Hello.
He owns Beatnik Bob's and has been with the museum since the beginning. Oh wait, there's a request for a dog.
Oh, the dog?
Yeah, get the little one. We've got two, so. Hey Nancy.
Dog or nothing.
That's the.
She's like, what?
The little bitty one. She was napping.
She'd love to be held.
She's kind of a mess right now. I think you may have seen Samson last time, but
they're both shaggy, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, they're both pretty tiny.
There's the pig.
They have the same size heads, which is strange. Yeah, there's the
fur pig.
That's the other boy over. That's the boy over there.
Why did you let?
Tom Grassman says that the museum is a wonder of the modern world.
Who said?
Tom Grassman. I agree.
Thanks, Tom.
All right. Well, we'll get started on the content, even though I do like a little dog intermission. So we have been taking the last few Wednesdays to look through some of the design rules of City Museum. This Wednesday, we're looking at using repetition through design. We're going to start off with a couple of the repeated themes throughout the museum, and then focus a little bit more on the design elements. So there's going to be a fair amount of pictures going through here, and we're not going to take too much time. You could spend all day on some of this, but I don't want to do that to you or myself. Hi, Steph. I think the gang's all here, so we'll get started in the with the slides. All right. Oh, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'm keeping an eye on those. So should be able to. I'll answer them as best as I can. Yes, yeah, I should specify. They are guidelines, not rules necessarily. So away we go. Oop. Max is hijacking my mouse here. All right. Hopefully the slideshow will start here in a second. Alright. So we're working on it. I'm back.
Input. Oh yeah, so. Whoa!
There we go. I tried that right before we went live and it worked perfectly, so but we make it happen, as with everything at the museum.
We just fell into your computer there.
I know. We fell into the computer abyss. Hi Emily.
Hi Emily. We missed you.
Hey Lindsay. All right, we have, so this first one we're going to look at one of the themes we have throughout the museum are creatures. This guy's on the first floor. He goes, he's got like branches coming out of his mouth. It's a theme you'll see throughout the museum. There's, design-wise, we have the conveyor belt rollers that are original to the museum that are lining the mezzanine balcony. And then you can also see a lot of like the scales in the other creature that's lying on top of the little dragon guy there. Let's see.
Hey, Christine.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Max. Here, we should be going to the next one. Hey, Max.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm trying to go to the next photo. We're making this work. All right. Let's see. So, no. We did a whole, there we go. We did a whole preview of this on Beatnik Bob's, and yeah. Okay, so this is another one of the creatures, also on the first floor. This is on the other side of the tree. It sort of reminds me of like a griffin head out front. You'll also see some fish on the bottom, the mosaic fish. Aquatic themes is a really big one throughout the museum as well. And you can see the roller bars continuing up on the balcony there. There we go. So there are creatures, like fantastic, like surrealist creatures throughout the museum, and then there are also just regular animals that you'll see in life. This is a lion that's on the first floor. You can get a little better view of the fish in the mosaic in the floor there. With the aquatic themes, I think a lot of you guys are familiar with the whale and a lot of the bigger aquatic animals that are on the first floor. This one, it's a mosaic designed by one of our artist Lori Marr. This is on the landing on the second floor. I think it's gorgeous. Yeah, it's been really funny. It's been really funny looking through all these photos and the pictures. There's a lot of stuff that I hadn't noticed before, which is pretty amazing. One of the things that makes the museum awesome. This is another part of that mosaic. It's got some aquatic creatures in there. This is also on the landing that's on the second floor. These are little fish that are placed in the mirror that are coming in and out of the tunnel that goes underneath the floor on the first floor, which is a tight squeeze, but it's pretty fun. You can see the whale in the background. I'm sure I had seen this guy before, but he was pretty great. I took this photo yesterday when we went in there for a little bit, and it was adorable. So another theme throughout the museum are the gargoyles and grotesques. There's a cool section about it in our city museum guide that we have in the gift shop. The difference between a grotesque and a gargoyle are the gargoyles are used as like water spouts, which I had not realized. So they're all technically grotesques, and then gargoyles are a subcategory. So these, I believe, would technically be grotesques. These are inside, well, the ones inside peeking out from the window, and then the other ones on top of the archway. These are in the toddler town on the third floor. This is technically a gargoyle. This is on the mezzanine by sandwiches. It's on one of the posts, and then the water spouts down into a small pond that's on the first floor. There's another architectural element, grotesque, that's on the third floor. One of the other themes we use a lot is a lot of big industrial pieces, and then either reuse them in new ways, or we'll have them just on display, and they're kind of valued for their beauty and their design. These guys, the steps, these are all train car, like locomotive wheels, and these make the steps up to one of the climbers in Toddler Town. This is a piece, it's been with the museum, I mean, relatively since the beginning, like within the first couple years, I believe. This was part of a windmill from NASA that had broken, and we ended up with it through one of the Yeah, yeah. The whole gargoyles grotesque thing. Um, I guess grotesque wouldn't have made as good of a show name. I was thinking about that because we had been watching Gargoyles recently.
Oh, answering on Lindsay's,
Yeah.
she wanted to know if the mosaics were part of Venice Cafe's staff, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
she was like, "Is it one of the people?" It was actually a bunch of the people that came over, and like Venice Cafe had built up a lot of its stuff. So Venice Cafe's food, Venice Cafe's like work staff, they all came at crunch time and pretty much finished up the museum. And then the main person out of that bunch was Sharon von Senden. That's where we scored her, and the beautiful artwork on the floors was really the beginning, like the heart and soul of Sharon von Senden for a bunch of years, while Lori, who does it now, learned under her, and that's why Lori's so spectacularly great at it. Anyway, yeah. So yes, Venice Cafe is one of my favorite Easter eggs in St. Louis. So whenever anybody mentions Red or any of them down there, it's like mentioning my family from 13 years old. I think there was a guy named Shadow. He cooked the best food, and it was like jerk chicken. And I mean, when we were opening the museum, you didn't care what you were eating, because you were so hungry. Yeah. Anyway, I could ramble on about those guys forever.
Little side story with Max there.
Anytime to mention Sharon, I'm like, oh.
I know we love Sharon. Hi Tim. You're late to the party, but it's all right. We've got a little ways to go. So I don't think this had anything to do with the NASA suit that we have necessarily,
No,
but it's a
no,
nice
no.
little tie in there. And don't. Yeah. All right. This guy is a belt-driven bandsaw that was found in the backyard of a Lafayette Square home, which is a neighborhood that's in St. Louis. If any of you guys are from out of town and don't know what I'm talking about, so this is on the balcony part on the third floor, looking down.
Oh yeah, and you're talking to Beatnik Bobs right now. So hello.
Oh, hi, Beatnik.
No, we are Beatniks, silly.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we own Beatniks. I'm behind
She's
on the
head
comments.
Beatnik.
I am the head Beatnik, apparently.
And we're sort of different. We're a brother, brother. I don't know what we are. What is Beatnik Bobs?
What are you?
Is this the bathroom?
Where's the bathroom? Yeah, the saw's been there a really long time. So then these guys are two. They're made of bronze. They're giant propellers. They were from two boats. These are on the third floor.
Actually, there's a video of the saw in the beginning.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the saw. A few of these pieces, the NASA, the windmill as well, is in a couple videos that we have from really early on that we're gonna hopefully be showing either later this week or next week. So we've got those coming up. This is a pretty familiar site for a lot of people. This is the pan wall. We're going to move from the giant industrial objects to objects that are used, that we get in mass, that are used as to create design and texture throughout the museum. We focused on this a little bit more in an earlier episode, the bricks episode, but some of them are definitely worth mentioning now. These is on the first floor. It's right as you walk in. They were originally used as buffet pans, and then Washington University ended up with them, one of our local universities, and they used them to house the mice in their labs. And then when they were getting rid of them, they were being sold as scrap, and we ended up with a ton of them. So yeah, they're right by the bathrooms. In case anyone wants to know where the bathroom is, follow the pan wall. And then because we have an abundance of pans, these are were hosts from the Hostess Factory. After it closed, they have since reopened, but when they were closing, we got it in an auction. These were used for like the ding dongs, so they're on the bottom there. Here's a closer look for you guys. We have thousands of them, as you do. This one is actually from the fifth floor. There are in the fifth floor of the museum, and soon to be the sixth floor. There are lofts that people can buy. This is on the. These are all Twinkie pans. So I'm not sure if this is in the hallway or inside one of the lofts, but this next one is in our gift shop. These are vinyl records that are up on the top half of the wall. You also see a little creature up there sticking out, and Gumby, because why not? These guys, this is listed as a cocktail table. We also use it as like kind of a room divider. This one is it's a steel conveyor system from the Laclede Steel Company. These are used. This is a closer up shot of the rods. This was used to hot steel was stretched across the bolts, and then it would be turned into wire. I don't know about free admission for loft owners. I'm that is a city museum info at citymuseum.org question. I have not lived there, so I don't know. You're fine. This is in the gift shop. I actually just noticed this the other day. I don't know how I missed that. These are all heels from shoes. For people that don't know, the City Museum, the building, was originally the International Shoe Factory. So we have a lot of shoe-related items that we've acquired, and some that were left in there over the years. So this creates a texture on the wall in the gift shop. Hi, Michael. This is on the second floor. This is the mirror hallway that goes in behind the vault room. If you go through the main vault and go through there, it reflects and like creates patterns throughout the space. These guys, I asked the director today, these were apparently held paint samples, and they cut them down to make a wall. This is on the mezzanine wall. It's behind the main staircase. So you have to kind of go like back and around to find it. But I thought these were really cool. Yeah, it's funny. There is a keg wall on the, up on the 10th floor. They use a lot of like soda kegs and things like that, that they cut in half and line the walls with them. So it's definitely a recurring theme throughout the museum. So we recently got the shoe heels, which is exciting. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things that makes sense and ties it back to the history of the building. This kind of shows a couple of the things that we've been talking about. These are the grotesques, the non-water feature gargoyles. These, so you can see some of the architectural patterns through here. The repeating creatures, and then also the lines drawn by the metal around. This is on the third floor. It's behind Pinball Alley, behind Beatnik Bob's. It's coming off of Toddler Town. This is all for the next time that you're in the museum. You can find all the stuff again. This is a close-up shot of the gear pillars that are in the lobby as you enter. A lot of them have glass marbles in them. We ended up getting thousands and thousands of those. So let's see if I can do that. Hey, it still works. How exciting. Okay. Here's another couple examples. So we've got the grotesques, the architecture elements, and then we also have these, it's like wrenches lined up, and those together form the balcony wall from the third floor looking down onto the main staircase. So now we're going to get into a little bit of the more traditional sense of patterns and repetition. This is a piece of the staircase from the Chicago Stock Exchange. It was designed by Adler and Sullivan. This is up on the 4th floor in our Sullivan Gallery. This is a close-up, so a lot of times when people think of repetition, like repeating patterns, this is probably more of what they're thinking about. So you have like the stars and all the designs. It's very typical of Sullivan's work, I would say. And we have a lot more of his work, of Adler and Sullivan's work, on view at the museum for you to check out. A lot of it's on the 3rd floor in Architecture Hall and Museum, and then up on the 4th floor as well. So this one, you can, the first floor fish tank. It was easier to write than it was to say. This is on above the 1st floor, the fish tank, and what I wanted to show is one, the aquatic theme, but also if you look, this is maybe a little bit more typical of patterns. This is work that the crew put together that forms the balcony wall above there, and I really like it. Yeah, like the aquatic themed shapes and negative space that it creates. This is another good example of that. We've got the turtle fence, which are cast off from a die cutting process that we decided looked like turtles and made many fences out of them. You also see, I think we went with, these are planters, which also look like remnants from a die cut process. The turtles you'll see, they are all over the museum. This ended up being above the outside. This is the railing outside of the tiny train, the little train that goes around on the 3rd floor. The railing needed to be a little bit higher, so they used those. And this is that was used as a planters. These are painted green. This is the cast off of the die cut process of a wall, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. And it's also another one of those things that I was looking around. I know I've seen it a million times. I keep walking by it, and I never really paid that much attention to it. So if nothing else comes out of this, maybe myself especially, and maybe everyone can be a little, appreciate a lot of the things that are around. Some things we might not have noticed before. This is a similar pattern that's used on the railing, underneath the railing up on Monstro. And then this one's back behind the, it's up on the 3rd floor, back behind the Toddlertown forest area. It's up above towards the ceiling, the pinball alley that's behind Beatnik Bob's. And then this is from inside the caves. Looks like it's railroad ties and like the industrial nuts they use to put together to form this really gorgeous balcony. And then this guy is also on Toddlertown. This is, you can see the creature, it's a dinosaur, and then, all of the patterns going down through the railing. Sorry, my dog's making so much noise. Through the railing. And you can see the train car stairwell that's in the back right-hand corner. But I thought the spikes coming up from the back was just absolutely gorgeous. Crew did an amazing job on that, which leads us, and I have to think was inspired by, perhaps one of the most iconic parts of the museum, which is our serpent fence, which we will end here, but this is so this is the Serpent Fence. It was one of the first things. It was probably the first project that was completed at the museum. Um, the Castleys, when they first bought the building, they wanted to, make sure, like, establish it as their space and make sure that everyone knew that something amazing was coming. So they built this giant serpent fence that goes around the parking lot, and they used the spikes up on top as the back, which formed a really gorgeous pattern. And yeah, and yeah, so the gear wall probably does. Yeah, some of these things have just so many photos, and there are so many more photos that we could have chosen. I'm actually thinking about doing, because we're trying to come up with some more content for things. Well, here, I'll come back to you here, even though, yeah, you can tell it's a really old photo too, because there's the Ferris wheel in the background there. Let's see if it'll switch back. All right, I think we're good. Yeah, tons and tons of photos taken of them, but because none of it really looks like when you're looking at it and you try and we've had number of people over the years do a good job of taking photos, but yeah, it's always a challenge. Yeah, there are. We do have. It was in a older City Museum history post, the blueprints for the Serpent Fence. I'll find that. I'll make a note. I'll bring that up. I've been going through the archive, and every Friday we've been showing some of the stuff that we found, and it's just kind of a hodgepodge of things. But I'll look for that photo and try and put that in this coming Friday show at 4:00. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous blueprint. I don't think we got the shoe collection. If we did, that information's above my pay grade, I guess. Let's see. Oh, hi, Miss Lori. How are you? Yeah, I don't know if we got the shoe collection or not. That might be a Stephanie question. I will find out. I will find out though. And yeah, I'll hopefully be able to answer your question on Friday. There's a lot of stuff that I do know, and there's a fair amount of stuff that I don't know, but I always want to learn more. So we'll take a look at that. So yeah, we're gonna be going through the museum. No, Stephanie says no shoe collection. We have real-time question and answers here. Stephanie Mondrasic is the retail director of City Museum, and she also hired me, so thank you again for that. Way back in 2006. And yeah, let me see. I don't think I missed any questions. If I did, I apologize. I'm gonna go look through this again after I sign off here, and then I'll try and answer any questions that you guys have. Yeah, it would be really cool to sell copies of the blueprints. I think we've done some artwork with it, but we switch up our. Actually, Stephanie's the person to talk to about that. We switch up our collections and merchandise over the years. On Monday at 4:00 in the Musings show, Stephanie did a really awesome look through the T-shirt archive of the City Museum. So it was shirts from the beginning till now. So it's definitely worth checking out. And I think we should maybe bring back some of the older designs. Let's see. I think that's it. I think I've taken up enough of your time. I really appreciate everybody for watching. We have a full. Sorry.
We had a package stolen from in the neighborhood.
That's not important right now.
Dealing with that.
Yeah. Next is what was it? Encyclopedia Brown.
Yeah, I saw a motorcycle.
Okay, so.
Encyclopedia Brown.
We can probably cut this off a little earlier, but so we'll be back on Friday at 4 with From the Archives. Max has a show, Music and Other Things with Max on Friday at 7, and we have Oh, Richard Kyle joined just in time for me to say bye.
Bye, Richard.
There are links in the description of this video if you want to go to the City Museum's website and find all the content that we've been producing since we've all been at home. And we really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we hope to see everybody soon. Okay? Thank you guys so much, and take care. So show me
how to stop this?
How to stop this whole
How do you
situation.
stop the madness? You first go, hold on.